Right. So, gonna talk a little bit about your dad, and your relationship with your dad. And, something just came to me in a different level. Just, just like last night, really. I was speaking last night at a treatment center, and I was talking to the men. And there was both men and women there, but I was talking to them about fear and how fear, according to 12 steps, according to Bill, uh, fear kind of creates our reality. Uh, Bill said in step four, he said that fear set in motion trains of circumstance. And I wanted to look at this in relationship to dad. Now I know a lot of the men that were in the room last night, and I've been with them in session. We've talked about their relationship with their dad, and a lot of times the relationship with their father has not been good. Is- and so it just hit me last night that I took some notes. Give me my kind of brief notes here, but the truth is, I've worked with hundreds of men, and I see this over and over and over again. I wondered what it was that kind of clicked. Um, that you know their relationship with their dad, your relationship with your dad has affected your relationship with your kids in a big way. Why is that? And it's because of this fear thing. You know, many of us were afraid that we were going to become like our fathers. Have you ever said that? Have you ever said, I'm not going to be a dad like my dad. I'm going to be a different kind of dad than my dad. And we were afraid. Fear actually created that. And it also created our relationships with their moms, with the women in our life. Because many of us said, look, I'm never going to be like my dad with the women in my life, with women, and with my wife. And our fear of becoming that created, and it just really struck me, that was true. We set in motion chains of circumstance, Bill said, create our reality around our fear. And fear is very powerful. And, um, in the core of recovery message is that at the level that we've been living at, and we go in fear or guilt or shame or regret, we cannot heal at that level. We have to have a power greater than ourselves. We've been living in fear, and we can't heal it at that level, right? You get that? We can't heal it at that level. So it's absolutely essential. All of these men that I talk to, and they tell me about their relationship with their dad, and how he wasn't there, or he was maybe there but he didn't pay attention to us, or that he was uh, not very affectionate or loving, or in some cases, I talked to a man this morning actually about this, and he had a great relationship with his adopted dad. But I said, tell me, have you ever said, have you ever said that you're never going to be like your biological dad? Because he met his biological dad, and even though he was adopted, he said, yes, I have said that. And so we had this fear that we're unable to literally uh, create this relationship that we wanted with our own kids. With this fear that we're going to turn out like our own dad. And in his case, it was his biological dad who didn't show up. He was in jail when his mom was pregnant. And they made a decision. Mom made a decision. Somebody did. That, that they could keep. And so his mantra, his message was that he been abandoned, even though he had a great adoption. His message was that he wasn't going to be like his dad, and he was afraid that he's going to be like his dad. And his dad was also a player, a women's dad, and he didn't want to be like that. the message is that, it's so essential that we heal the relationship with our fathers. That we can't really heal it from our ego. We can't work at it harder. We have to surrender and surrender the whole mess actually to this power greater than ourselves. Call it consciousness, God. We have to. It can't be fixed at the level that it was created. That's not, that's the don't do that. Many teachers have since then and before them was a new idea. It's always been so. Um, yeah, if you're thinking about your own relationship with your kids, and here's what happens: is we give up. Men are like, just fuck it. You're on our second or third family, and um, we've given up on the older kids. We're going to try and fix it with the new kids. It doesn't fix. You have to live at a different level. You have to live at a level of love, a level of consciousness that's higher. And, otherwise, we're going to just keep repeating. Fear creates our reality. It's the thing that we fear, and what we think about, we bring about, even if it's unconscious. So that's my message. That the the road to freedom, also the road to healing families, and we have to break the chain. You don't even know. You don't even know whether your dad, this relationship with his dad, and that how long this has gone on for. How men didn't show up, and nobody came along to show them that they could break the chain. And it's time. You have to break the chain with kids and your own dads. If you're an older dad, you know, like I am, if you're an older dad like I am, it's not too late to heal the relationship, even though your dad is passed, to let go, to pray, to have it, take my life here, show me you'd have me to be. It says at once we begin to, and some of these fears are very subtle, and it's not too late to build a relationship with your show them love and care, and it's free of fear. So I'm encouraging all of us to break the chain. Because our kids, guess what? They're going to go do the same. You know, like grow up and say, "Your dad like my dad. He didn't show up. He left my mom." You know, so that stuff happens, but it can all be healed. And you know, I have a life of that. I have three kids. I was married twice. I think we say they were successful marriages, they were just short, but I was living out my dad. My dad was married three times, right? It wasn't available. And, so somehow enough time in my life when I was free of fear, connected spiritually, that I was able to bring love into the lives of those kids. That I think break the chain. And become one mom, and she married a guy. Really available dad. I think he's available. My son is a great dad, and shows his love for his kids, and to a certain degree, we've broken the chain. It's an amazing thing. So that's available. This is really important. I see it's important because I watch guys go to treatment, and this doesn't come up, just doesn't come up, or there's no solution offered, and they get a little bit of therapy, they get a little bit of AA, and they, let you go, you guys, they still got all of this stuff with their dad. And, really talking about mom yet, you know, so it hasn't, it's not like we can just heal it by exposing it. It's to be, the light of has to be shown. God's love has to be shown. It says the sunlight. has to come in to heal this stuff. And so you wonder why, it took 6 or 8 times to treat, because it doesn't, and it's not talked about in treatment. Whenever I talk to fellas and about this, we didn't really talk about it. We had group, but there wasn't a solution. So, you know, my offer to all treatment centers is that, I'd love to come in and talk about this, 'cause I can talk about this. I'm the old guy with the experience, and I've been studying this now for, you know, consciously for the last 4 or so years, but even before that, I did so much men's work trying to free myself and trying to serve other men in this capacity. So, yeah, lots of work to be done here. So if you're in a treatment center, talk to your guy, I'll come. And if you work there, just I talk to lots of guys who work with treatment centers, say, "Well, we don't go there, we don't wanna open that can of worms." Well, that can of worms has gotta be open. Has to breathe you know, and we're full of still that pain. And, and we look at our kids, and many guys have 2 and 3 families, and, they're estranged. They don't wanna I say, "Well, it's up to them. They're not talking to me. It's up to them." Bullshit. It's up to us. We need to reach out, we need to do this work so we can heal, and then we're reaching out with love. We're not reaching out with, trying to control our kids or trying to manage them, trying to fix them. We're just reaching out with love. So anyway, that's my message today. I don't know how coherent it was, but, you know, the answer, if you have children and you want to be more available, if you're afraid like I was that they're going to be addicts now, you and how do we break the chain? Let's do it together. Call me. Let's talk about it. I'm available. This is, this is my work. I this is it. I'm committed to this. This is, the next however long God gives me on the planet is to work with men and help them to get free and be the loving dads that you want to be. Okay. Cheers. Get in touch. If you're watching this on YouTube, leave a comment.